that's the lane I've been in lately. Like I said, like the reality TV show, and then my time in the WWE, and then that dog pound situation got me some good publicity, because right away within like the first month I was training some big names, like
who?
I was training Justin Bieber, Kelly Rowland, Adam.
What?
Yeah, it was crazy, bro.
Oh, record those guns. Put them away. He's society. You're okay. So we're here with Joshua Bradle, aka Yetihood, aka Sainthood.
What's up, bro? How you doing?
The Robert Patton Global Podcast. I'm doing well. Thank you for joining me.
Bro.
Yeah, we've been like working together or whatever for like years, it seems like, and we've never actually had a chance to talk. So thank you again for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. I agree. It's been like a nice, like, synergistic relationship we had that was just like, we didn't really talk much. We just plug and play type shit.
Yeah. No, and that's good business, though. I think you know what you're doing when it comes to promoting and building relationships with brands, because you make it easy. You know, you're promoting us, and that's what we want. And some people, they just want money, and then they don't do like the thing that they're supposed to do, which is like sell your product for you. So
yeah, crazy, right? It's crazy.
I appreciate that.
No, I appreciate you too.
What is that necklace? Is that like an anchor?
It's like a Maloran hammer.
Oh, nice.
Hell yeah.
You're always like fly and like looking like you're having a good time.
Yeah, I appreciate that, bro. I try to keep a nice little consistent flow with having fun and just diversifying my portfolio.
What's new? Right? What's what?
No, I was checking on the background. You got like a fighter on the wall.
Yeah, that's Chuck, my boy Chuck Liddell. He's not necessarily my favorite fighter, but when he's doing that scream, like the victory pose, I have so many of those. I have Ferguson and like Dustin Poirier and Khabib, the whole, like that victory pose, putting your hands up in the air. There's something about that I really like, because like I was watching this psychological kind of study or whatever, and if you're feeling like shit, you can like do these power poses and it'll make you feel like
it's like channeling your chakra or whatever you want to call it to where you need it. So if you're lacking it in your other body parts, you might be low vibrational. So then you either through breathing or movement or like something epic like that, you could definitely change your mind, change your flow for sure, bro. Yeah, you're also enhancing circulation. So like, you know what I mean? It's a whole scientific process for sure.
Yeah, there's something to it, because you can, what you think about, you bring about. But if you're thinking poorly, you can like trick your mind, I think, by doing the physical response, and then it tricks your mind into like feeling good or whatever.
No, it's like a domino effect, bro. There's like I was just talking about this recently. There's like a whole study behind like the fascia system inside your body, like overlaying your muscle groups is the fascia.
I thought you said fascist at first, but fascia, like that.
Fascia. And so like what you're talking about, movements like that, you're stretching and activating, but you're also like kind of like, they call it like nerval pulling, or like you're like all the threads of your nervous system and the threads of your fascia system are being like strung in that moment. So it's like signaling for flow, for circulation. And then depending on what you believe in, like more of a spiritual side, that's kind of like an antenna to your higher self. Mm-hmm. So you're kind of like reaching to your higher self. You're like activating like a different positioning of the nervous system. So like you're kind of just reactivating yourself. You feel me?
No, I'm into the spiritual, like we're not just this physical form. We have like the mental and the spiritual and the higher self for sure.
1000%. It's just like I said, the domino effect is like your mindset of like the change that you need in that moment, whatever it is. If you like truly tap into that, like you start projecting that back to yourself, right? And then if you're really into it, it's going to be a quick return. If it's kind of like passive and you're not really like confident within it, it's going to be a slow return. So that's kind of like the difference in people's experiences with that type of movement. You feel me?
Like practicing, yeah. Like what you feel good, look good, feel good. Like,
good.
Yeah, exactly. It's all, it goes mirrored there. It's mirrored up.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we're on like a similar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
I already know. I already peeped that through the internet, but you know what I mean? It's like, takes one to know one type of situation, but absolutely, bro. I try to just keep it very like, keep like the momentum going with everything I'm doing, but always backed up by that type of ideology. You feel me?
That foundational, like grounded, but like you have to believe in this kind of magical aspect of life. And
yeah, absolutely. It's partially believing in it, but it's also partially just like knowing that like what we've been taught and what we've learned is like merely a fraction of like really what's going on around us. And like we know so much about the human body and so much about like how cause and effect of the variables we put into our body, whatever, react. But at the same time, we know so little, bro. So like some people are so successful or so in shape or whatever, and they have these like key things they do that they think they can reciprocate and preach to us, and we do those and people see similar result. But at the end of the day, there's probably some like untangible, unmeasurable variables at hand that we aren't even really aware of yet, right? And a lot of those probably lean towards that spiritual side or like that real mindset. And some people like know how to really live that, or some people kind of want to mimic it and they don't really know how to tap in. So yeah, no, I'm excited to learn a lot more about that. I've been watching and like researching a lot of the Gaia network as of lately when it comes to the physicality side, because they got a lot of information on there. But there's like the anatomy, physiology, and sports science type of situations that they've been bringing to the table now too are very interesting, because they talk like a lot about that fascia system and how they always are preaching it's an antenna to our higher self, right? Because they find that it's like tied into our pituitary gland. So at night when we're sleeping, it's like very active, and it's like exchanging with our higher self all night, downloading, uploading. And then in the morning you wake up, and depending on your sleep, you obviously feel a certain type of way, right? You get bad sleep, you feel uncharged, dead, because you're sleeping to rest your body here, but also like during sleep there's this exchange that's happening. So if your sleep quality is poor, that exchange is poor, and then you're kind of lagging.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
I was living like that for years, like almost a decade. I could not rest. Like my body would just be in this like anxiety, not anxiety, but restless state. Like, so when I'd go to bed, I'm like, my feet want to like move, like that restless leg syndrome. And I'm constantly tossing and turning, and I'm still pretty bad at it compared to probably most people. I get up 6 times a night at least, and I track it because I have like a little sleep bed tracker. But what I do to mitigate it, was the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, after like I just get my coffee, I get my water, I go sit down in my little meditation chair, that black chair right there. And I just meditate for like 20 minutes, and by the time I'm done, I feel like recharged up again. But it's the sleep. Actually, last night was like probably some of the best sleep I've had in months. Every now and then I'll get a good night, and it's like, oh shit, sweet.
For sure.
But you gotta, there's other, like the meditation isn't a way to kind of connect to that higher source of energy, because I'll be sitting there meditating and I'll like my brain is like pulsing. And I feel it like sometimes in my gut, which, you know, you have like a brain gut connection, and the heart and all that. It has really made such a huge difference. There was like, prior to me doing this, which I just started doing it in December, I got like trained in transcendental meditation, but before that, it was hard for me to be consistent. Like I would like cancel meetings and shit because I'm like, I can't function type.
It was feeling. Affecting you like greatly. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was horrible. And I mean, I would just smoke weed all day, and I still smoke, but that was like its own like cyclical problem, because the more I would smoke, the worse my sleep would be. And then the more I'd smoke,
Yeah,
It's weird.
but while you're smoking, you feel kind of at rest, so you see that. But ironically, it's destroying your sleep patterns as well. I agree. Like, I smoke a lot too, and when I smoke more often, my sleep is worse. And when I smoke less often, which as of lately, I haven't been smoking as much, honestly, my sleep's better, bro. So
yeah,
there's definitely, because it's really as much as you feel sedated, or it's not even a sedation to me personally, but like to categorize it as you feel sedated in the high, you feel good, but your nervous system is tripping because it's not at homeostasis. It's not a baseline.
It's stimulated.
So it's trying to get back to the baseline no matter what. So even if you fall asleep high, you feel relaxed, your body's like not okay. So it's working. And by the time you finally get sober back to baseline and it can rest, it's time to get up. So now you have to sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, for sure. Okay. I like this.
That's a way to think about it, bro. You gotta, like, even though there's things that make you feel better as like a personal self, like your body is just a vessel trying to survive. So unless it's at its true baseline, it's not gonna rest, bro. Just facts, you know?
No, I love that. I like hearing that from somebody like you who I respect, and I mean, just,
appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, seeing you online. And are you a personal trainer, or were
bro.
you?
Yeah,
okay.
So just a quick little synopsis of my upbringing. I grew up in Colorado, in Denver. Ooh. So shout out, you already know.
Hey,
Mile High City, baby. And then I played college football. While I was playing football, I studied kinesiology, exercise science, and then graduated. I had my daughter. I went to the Green Bay Packers for a brief career. I switched my position, and then I got released. Then I got into this crazy conundrum where I was on a reality TV show, and the winner would win a 1-year contract in the WWE and a nice little check. So 16 weeks later, I got onto the show, obviously. Then 16 weeks later, I won the show.
Hell yeah.
I was in the WWE for like 4 years, and then was just hustling that. It was like broadened my network crazy, taught me a lot about business and different businesses and how, you think you can understand if you're like very diverse in your mindset. You like businesses work different, and there's like a core premise of how to handle those. That taught me how, like, some situations, even if you have the most experience ever, you might not know jack in that next experience. So you got to kind of just be open to whatever, right? So yeah. So that panned out, and then I ended up like retiring technically out of that, and I went back home and I was hustling. Didn't really like have an exact plan, but I was just hustling, right? And then I got another call through a connection on my Tough Enough experience through this gym, Dog Pound, and they offered me to come out to LA and help open a gym and like take it to the moon. And we did that real quick. And then that had a whole nother coast on my side with a whole lot of strange networking too, that just broadened my stability. And then I started just hustling, like how you said, I hustled at the beginning of the podcast. I just like do good business with people the right way, and I like make sure I try to give more than I take. And then from there, I just like prosper, right? And then
yeah, absolutely.
Popping it up, bro. So
I like the doing more than is asked of you, and that's always like a good sign that somebody's willing, like a hustler. I got my little hustle shirt on. I don't like the bare minimum. People that do the bare minimum and they're just trying to get by, that annoys me, especially if they're working for me.
No, yeah, for sure. Especially if it's affecting your namesake and your bread, absolutely. But usually that's like a lesson in itself. Most of those people end up finding out like that half-ass comes back to them, right? And then you either learn and adapt, or you just stay where you're at.
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, I'm constantly trying to evolve and get better, and it's never. I'm never satisfied.
I seen the brand blow up, bro. Like I remember when the brand first came out, and then it was just cool, and I was dying laughing because it was just like, was like it's practical and it's funny, and like I'm like, yo,
it's a funny
I need this, bro. It's a great concept. So then I reached out, showed some love, and then you guys hooked me up. And then I saw y'all did some work with Jody High Roller with fucking Riff Raff. I was like, oh, okay, we're making some moves. And then like got into the fight game a little harder. And then now I'll be watching TV. It'll be live or it'll be pre-recorded either way. And I'll see some SHEATH in the background. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, we're on live TV.
Yeah, I love seeing that. Like we'll see a fighter, like a promotion for a fighter coming into the UFC, and they were either sponsored by us or weighing in or whatever, in like LFA or Fury, and then so like you see our logo in the UFC, which is really cool.
No, it's huge, and it's nice, and like it flows with it. It's different from it enough to stand out, but it flows with that UFC vibe. Kind of too smoothly, honestly. It's insane.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. This year's been a little funky with it when it comes to, I mean, the economy and everything, right? Like, are you in LA still then?
No, right now I've been mostly in Colorado, and at the moment I'm in Miami with my lady. But
oh, nice.
I've been in Colorado a lot. My kids are in Colorado. I've been hustling out there. I've been training, like you said,
in Denver.
So, in Denver, yep. So okay. I was lucky enough to establish a pretty good like online premise during COVID because of COVID and the lockdown. Like we did a lot of online sessions, and then coincidentally, like my online like email only type of fitness went up and got congruent. And then after that, I left Dog Pound and came back home. I was like, when I first left Dog Pound in LA, I started No Cap Fitness. I like right away got blessed with a facility situation, and I started just pumping No Cap Fitness. And like a lot of my clients came with me, or they would.
What does No Cap mean? I'm sorry, I just like
no cap, no salary cap, no limit, no ceiling.
Okay.
So it's just like. Right. It's just like
okay, good. That's what I thought. Well, okay, that's good. That's okay. That makes sense.
You're good, baby. So then, basically, when I came back to Colorado, I still had this like good momentum and like people wanted to train with me, but now they can't because of the geographical location of me. So at first, I wasn't like really attacking getting new clients too soon, and I wanted to keep my like stakes high, right? Because like I just came out of like one spot to another spot, like obviously. Even downtown Denver, I mean, I could be in Cherry Creek. I could probably see some same numbers, but it wouldn't be the exact same as LA, right? So then I started training some of my friends and closer family, and anything that just kind of like popped up naturally. I wasn't really like hunting for clients. And then as that kept going, I like started training for my fight. Because like right before I went to Dog Pound, I had been training for about a year and a half, just Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu as a base. And I was getting ready to do a fight. And then actually I took a fight. And then days later, I got called by Dog Pound asking if I wanted to come out and start this gym in LA. And I was like, and then they told me about the check that would come with it and some stipulations. So I'm like, I'm about to go check out that right now. So I ended up pulling out of that situation, and then I continued to train while I was in LA for a while. Then when I got back to Denver this last December, I was like training like crazy. I did like a nice little like 6-month camp. Basically, the first 2 months were like not really much, but just super consistent. And then it turned way up, and I like ended up fighting. I ended up losing this fight that I took recently. I ended up getting submitted, but it was a good situation like to be in, and it was just like one of those things where I was like, I wanted to just dive in with both feet. And it was also like it was a combo of like me like getting something done that I hadn't gotten done in the past that I wanted to get done, and then it was also like a way to like spark some more momentum and just kind of like, I don't know, like I'm not like always trying to do the craziest thing. Like I haven't skydived yet. I probably won't skydive, but I'm always trying to do like some thrilling type physicality that's gonna like behoove me in some which way. And I'm blessed with like a vessel that's extra large, so
little beast.
I'm always use it. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. No, that sounds fun and exciting, and it's great promotional content, especially like a lot of people make their name in fighting and then take that onto business or just online content creation.
Yeah, really whatever comes your way. That's kind of where I've been. That's the lane I've been in lately. Like I said, like the reality TV show, and then my time in the WWE, and then that Dog Pound situation got me some good publicity because right away within like the first month I was training some big names like
who?
I was training Justin Bieber, Kelly Rowland, Adam.
What?
Yeah, it was crazy, bro.
What's up with Bieber right now?
Poor guy. He's going through it, man, but he's in good hands. Like he's got a great support team around him. He's got a lot of people that would go to hell and back for him, right? So
did he have a stroke?
He didn't have a stroke. He's got this condition where his a nerve in his inner cochlea, which is in your ear, like handles like balance and like symmetrical tendencies in your body. is affected, and it's actually a good thing that he's just getting the paralysis, because it could affect his balance so bad that he might not be able to really like walk right.
Whoa.
Like so other people that have that condition, a lot of times they don't show as much paralysis, but they start like falling like crazy. They just are always like off, because your cochlea in your inner ear, it handles all of your balance and
yeah
balance. So he's basically in a situation where like they're not really sure what like caused it. There's like some speculations like what could have caused it, but
I've heard of a vaccine type scenario could have caused that, or Coke. Those are the two.
I've heard that there's like a big chance that maybe some sort of vaccination situation on his booster might have, like, because there was a lot of people with the booster that happened to. I also know that this guy is one of one when it comes to like stress. You know what I mean? There's like, he's dealing with a lot of stress that a lot of humans can't even really like fathom, and you can like fathom a lot, right? But like what he actually deals with on every layer of his life is a lot of stress. And stress is like the number one killer, you know what I mean, no matter what. So if he's going through anything, whatever he's going through in his own personal life, plus like the stress of like being a showman and like handling his business, and he handles business like the best, you know what I'm saying? He's doing so much every day, knocking all this stuff out. And then if you add, he was on a tour that ended up getting extended and then pushed more, so he was really like getting after this tour. So the situation where he really just got overworked and
he hit his limit. He had a cap.
He hit his limit. Yeah, no kidding. Like actually, and he's such on that God level where he can press all these buttons and do so much that like you can't even clock this guy, right? But
yeah, people don't understand, like rich people that have everything, they have stress sometimes worse than the normal day-to-day kind of stress.
And it's like more of like it's a different type of stress. It's more of like a vigorous against yourself type stress. When you have the basics, and I think sometimes when I've been at my lowest lows, even though I want more and I like want more for myself, I realize like I'm like so stress free right now, because like it's just me and me. When you have the most and you've been to these crazy levels, if you feel yourself change levels a little bit, even though you're up in the clouds still, like it affects you, right?
Oh yeah, that happened to us this year. Like, and I'm handling it pretty well. But last year we had a boom because of just everyone was at home, everyone's getting checks, and everyone was fucking buying underwear. And this year it's just, you know, everybody's getting pinched with the economy, and like there's not so much free money floating around the system, and so luxury.
The underwear probably depreciates slower now too. Like if it was like a normal year and people run around working, the underwear are gonna get worn out. These underwear are getting preserved at home, being just worn only. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
they're not doing too much work. And like, are there a lot of help wanted signs where you're at, everywhere you go, where you've been traveling?
In Colorado, I've been seeing a lot of help wanted signs. In Miami, I haven't noticed that yet.
Okay.
In LA, it seems like everything that I know of and thought of prior to, like I was out there for the Juneteenth weekend, and I had this like I co-hosted this Juneteenth event with my boy Charles, and it was good, bro. Next year, as that was our second year doing it, next year I'll tie you in. Like we'll get you some signage out there or something, because it's a cool thing to be a part of, and like you should. But anyway, I was out there then, and I didn't see anything. Nothing help wanted, but I saw everything was closed. It was like pain, bro. Like, so some very staple spots that I thought would have at least endured and made it, gone, and then some new weird spots open. So I don't know. The economy is pretty strange. Like especially like you said, when you're traveling around and seeing like the different sample sizes, you definitely notice that there's this like eerie upside down / like irregular tone to business. And like in every industry, really. But
everywhere we go is like short staffed, and I'm like, what the fuck happened to all of the people that we used to work? Like, did they die? I don't know.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's insane. There's a lot of people working now. It's like almost like, I think too, it's crazy. We talk about like the online situation with like your health and everything, but I think if you consider the variables, bro, like in life there's like this huge encyclopedia of all the psychological like disabilities and illnesses and like situations that can occur like throughout your life, and they've been like categorized, and it's a catalog, right? And so now like with bringing of like social media and like the vast amount of different platforms and how they work. Not only like the platforms, how many there are, but each platform works differently, right? And like depending on what your niche is in that platform, your ego level is like either here, or here. And then like, is it healthy ego? Is it toxic ego? Whatever it is, like all these different variables are affecting us psychologically. So like, it's something that's like, there's probably needs to be, and is already out there in reality, a whole new category of like mental illness.
Oh yeah,
coming from all this. So like that mixed with COVID, like we got like a whole new planet we're dealing with. You know what I mean? So it's pretty crazy, bro.
Yeah, it's like the online like mental ill. I don't know. Like if you're getting your, like you get that little jolt when you get the likes and new followers and you're growing, but when it goes down and you're like relying on some app or whatever and growing on this app, yeah, it's like it's not healthy. I don't think it's too much it's too fucking much information for us. It's not normal. Yeah. It's too weird. It's too much. Like it should, like 100 years ago, you would just be like staring at the cow, or maybe you're working, but like you have like downtime to just kind of like drift off and daydream and stare into space and then whatever. But now it's always, we're not processing. We're always
like, we don't process what we see. It's just like intake, sleep. Like there's no like, it's crazy.
Yeah. And I'm like, my memory, I'm like, if I've seen a movie, you know, I just watched Catch Me If You Can with Leo DiCaprio, and it was a good movie, but I'd seen it before, but it's like I had never seen it practically. Yeah. And so there's so much information coming in. It's like my brain is just like, deleting shit.
No, it's probably true. It was like the first time you saw it in your head because so much has been piled on top of that since.
Yeah.
It's wild. That's a good movie.
Yeah, it shows like what being like super confident about whatever you're telling people, like people will believe you for the most part if you really act it out. And he would convince these people, you know, that he was a doctor or pilot or a lawyer, and then he actually won, like passed the bar, which was interesting. So he obviously had a high intellect, and it's a true story. But
he was just brain power to like surpass the system and just flow on his own regard. Yeah.
And that was a different time though, where you could like get away with shit like that. Now everything is so digital, and you're not gonna be able to just be cashing blank check or fake checks all the time.
Yeah. Back then it was way different. Now there's like so many safeguards set up that you can.
Yeah. People still fucking get around that. I got not robbed, but whatever, like tricked or whatever. It was a couple years ago now. I think it was like 2018. But this guy called me. I have Chase. We use Chase Bank, and they, it was a Zelle thing. He ended up like Zelling himself, but what he did was he's like, "Hey, we just got a call, or this is the fraud department for Chase," and it was from an 800 number, but so he said he's from the fraud department. He's like, hey, "Are you in LA? Or did you just buy like some $200 worth of stuff at Walmart and then $200 worth of stuff at wherever?" And I was like, "No, I'm fucking at my house here in Colorado Springs. What's going on?" He's like, "Something's wrong with your account. We're gonna have to freeze it. I'm gonna send you a code, and I want you to read me the code." The code came from Chase. The code came from Chase, but it was a code to reset my password.
Oh shit.
And somehow, so he gets in, and he was able to take $5,000. Thankfully, that's like, it had a limit to how much I could send out each day. Because he could have got me for, it was like 100 in there or something. Yeah. And Chase was cool enough to fucking give me my money back. I had to get a whole new account. But my point, I guess, was that there's still these scams out there that.
Yeah, bro. I honestly get a text maybe like once a week, twice a week, where it's like, just a phantom dry text from some new number, and it's like it might even be one of those like 4-digit, 5-digit numbers, so it seems legit or whatever.
Yeah.
It'll be like, please reschedule your meeting soon. Like, we don't want to miss this opportunity with you. And I'm like if I was busy and dumb enough, I could be like, oh shit, I can't even remember what this is. Tap the link. Next thing you know, just tapping that link, they're already like halfway up. You know what I'm saying?
They're in, yeah. Then they're in your phone.
In your phone or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
they got into Bezos's phone somehow. I remember that happened. But what is this? The brand you're wearing on your
this hat.
Yeah.
This is no brand. I got this out of like a hunting expo shop like a couple years ago. It's just a ski mask.
Oh.
Bought like 4 or 5 of them. It's nice, right? I'm
trying to come out with like a logo.
I'm gonna be coming out with a beanie soon. I just partnered up with Millions just recently, and so I did my first shirt release, and so it dropped like a week and a half ago. And I've been selling, and so now like they're getting shipped out now. I'm just this nice little shirt. It's a Yeti World Tour shirt, so it's got my logo right here. It's Yeti World Tour on the back, Yeti World Tour, and it's got all my dates. And so it's just like a cool little nostalgic tee, bro.
What are you doing a tour?
Yeah, I've been on tour, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you think about it, I just been on this world tour, taking like what I have to offer all over the place, and so like there's some strategic dates on there. Definitely, it's mostly just like locational time periods where I was at, and then I got like a little meaningful date on there too at the end. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty cool, bro. Check it out. If the links in my bio, it costs you like 30 bones. It's a nice shirt. It's a cool shirt. So.
All right, I will get a Yetihood shirt. Yeah, are you doing Saint Yeti or what? Are you transitioning?
I'm still. Yeah, I'll be been called Saint Yeti for a little while too. I'll be trying to move like a saint, you know what I'm saying? But as far as like my branding with No Cap, and I have like NoCapFitness.app right now. I've had that for a little while too. It's like a monthly app where I upload my workouts to there, and then you can kind of just follow along with me for like it's less than $10. And then I still offer like in-person sessions. I'll do like a pack of 10 or a pack of 20 sessions with somebody if they're committed and they want to get down, and then we formulate a plan and like where we're going to train XYZ. So then I'm all theirs for 20 sessions or whatever, however we want to map it out. And then next thing you know, like we just keep the ball rolling and get some good transitions and get a good transformation like that. They feel healthy. Yeah, exactly. Add an inch and a half to those pipes, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not even about that. I'm not really on that like nitty gritty, like meathead raw. Like I'm more of like on like a mature spiritual kind of like
be healthy,
but also like while you're working out, like know that you're like bettering yourself, and like we'll like talk about it, you feel me? And then you'll be like a little bit more like intrinsically aware and intrinsically driven to like do this for you. And it's like, yeah, you're like relying on me to help press you, but like pretty soon I'm just trying to like let you absorb all this knowledge, so like you can just take that and do what you will with it, right? Hell yeah.
What do you think about like TRT and HGH and things like that? You natty? So like, you go natty 100%?
I'm natty, bro. I think like for me, yeah, I've been natty so far, and I'm blessed. Like I feel like there was like some point in time where I had seen some like scary news about like, you know, how many bad things can come from steroids like at a young age. And then like my grandpa even kind of preached me that. So that was kind of like my prerequisite of like saying no and like fear in that situation. But then also like as like I developed and like started like getting better at sports and everything, they were like testing me vigorously. And like I never wanted to like pop. Even when I got into the WWE, and it's just like such a questionable thing, but they tested for steroids in the WWE. Which is like so there's tiers, right? Like when you come in and you're this new meat, like they're basically like setting up booby traps and throwing out banana peels for you to slip on, because they're trying to like, they don't want you to fail necessarily, but they're also trying to like turn over bodies and like figure out like people that will shine now and like
whatever. Like who's gonna
that's kind of like culturally how they're set up anyway, who's gonna break through exactly. And then so one of the things is they test you once a month for like street drugs and for PEDs, or like performance enhancing drugs. And if you strike on any of that, it's like 2,500 like right now. And like your third one is like way more, and you're like suspended for a year if it's a PED. And so, which is ironic, they kind of like got strict and got more leaning towards like professional organizations in terms of steroids around the time when all that Benoit nightmare happened.
He killed himself.
And it was
his
like
wife or something.
His family, and yeah, bro, it was real bad. So it was a situation where like that had to be dealt with, like, and one of the ways publicly, and one of the ways that they could publicly deal with that is to say like, we test all our guys now. There's no steroids in here. Meanwhile, the reality is like, you know, if you've already been in the organization and you're already a guy that's like that's household name, and like your image is based on these, you know, drugs, like you're not gonna get your name called on the clipboard, right? Like you're gonna we're there, and then you're good. But it's all good. I respect it, bro.
It's business.
I was blessed when I got to Dog Pound. Like, I don't know, it was maybe like 2 years into it. I met these two of my clients that were twins. These ladies, they're like in this, they're kind of in like that wholesale, when COVID first happened and they're like, people were selling plastic gloves and masks like hotcakes. They got into that wave. So mass sales of masks. So you already know they were going crazy. And they were also in this like medical industry in terms of like kind of more bushy, like medical treatments, like stem cell, like skin, like vampire, all that.
Oh yeah. It's
microblading with stem cells, like like supercharged facial type treatments. And then they also were known for like giving like athletes and like people stem cells. So I kept training them. They like learned my story. They started really liking me a lot. Next thing you know, they had about like 100 pack from me each, and I was like training them all the time. And then they ended up saying like, "Yo, we want to gift you some stem cells," because like they know I had tore my ACL when I was in college. I actually tore it twice. It was crazy. Like, I tore it. It was heartbreaking, crazy. I rehabbed, and then like got obsessed with rehab. And like during my rehab, I was learning like so much from my major that I was able to translate that into like what I was doing and like really lock in. And then so right around like 5.5, 6 months, I was faster, stronger, looked better. I was like, yo, like put me in, you know what I mean? I was like a lawyer for myself trying to play. And they were saying, "I will wait." And then the doc was like, "Yo, you look good. Like, let's get it." So they like pulled me back in. I got like 3 games in, and then 1 week, it was like a Thursday before the game. It was a walkthrough, and it was just helmets. I like ran past the quarterback to like emulate I would have got there for the sack. And so I just like tapped him on his hip and like walked by and like slowed down. And then when I turned to run back to the huddle, like God just sniped my ACL. I just fell down. I was like, what the hell? Retort, bro. It was insane. So then I ended up taking a whole year off. It was real hard to come back from that second one just because it was just so much trauma like in a small window, right? So it was like my body was really trying to like not only like tell me enough's enough for right now, but it was trying to guard it and keep it safe. So like anyway, that's like kind of like the hellacious backstory of my knee. And I ended up getting better. Came back the second time we won a national championship. It was a
what school was it?
CSU Pueblo. It's in Southern Colorado. It's a D2 school.
Yeah. What? Yeah, Pueblo's right there.
It's right there, bro. Yeah. So I went to there. I kind of like fell through the cracks in the D1 level for some like odd reason. I hurt my shoulder, but it was just bad management on my end, and so I ended up getting shopped around D2, which was like heartbreaking in itself also, but it's what it is.
Yeah.
I was like, get it no matter what. So then I ended up seeing CSU Pueblo since it was like brand new. When I got there, it was in its second year of its coming back because they shut down the program like in like the late 70s or something. I'm not really sure why, but it was like some kind of weird money thing mixed with some like politics. I don't know, but they were out. That's back when they were USC, University of Southern Colorado.
Oh, okay.
And then so they came back at CSU Pueblo, and then they added the football program back. And then the second year it was back in Connection. I got there, and it seemed so flashy and new. It like mimicked like CU Boulder, like mimicked like Boise to me, like the way the locker room looked and everything. So I was like, I got to go here. It's like the best case scenario for what I wanted at that time. And then we like had some decent record, like our first 2 years. I got hurt, and then we came back. We started playing crazy good. We had like a bunch of guys that just had chips on their shoulders and were like belonged D1. So we're just smoking teams. And then we like made it to the national championship my senior year. Won, copped the
hell yeah,
got out of there. It was dope. It was a dope little ride, bro. But anyway, back to the stem cells. So basically,
tell me
trauma with the knee and just overall, right? Because you hurt your knee, it's like a major joint. So then now your hip moves a little different, your ankle moves a little different. And that causes chronic shit elsewhere.
Yeah,
you're when you come back, you're not really like fully
confident.
back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Your confidence isn't there, and you're like in this mental crutch, but also like you're not back. You know what I mean? You have to adapt back. Like, so you're figuring out new ways to move. Like maybe you used to like jump cut like this. Now you got to jump cut like that. So it's
right.
Like, all these things you've been doing for this whole long career that got you to this like apex level. Now you're still mentally at this apex level, but you got to find new movements to like fast track you back.
Right. To work around it a little bit.
Right. So that caused other little micro injuries in my body. Like that's just how it goes. So now I'm finally at this like stem cell situation, and I was actually feeling kind of down bad. Like my hip was starting to kind of hurt more and more because I could just tell that our gym at Dog Pound, the one flaw about it is like it's in the hills low key. So the gradient is like the whole gym is at this slight gradient like this. So like you come in as a client, it really doesn't affect you. Like we have everything, any squat situation we have set like either facing downhill or uphill. So there's no. But as a trainer, being there all day, walking up and down this little hill all day, and you're kind of always facing the way, so you're always kind of right. So that affects you, bro. So I get to this point, and I'm in that situation, and then all of a sudden these angels come by with some stem cells, and I'm like, yes, please. They put like $4,000 worth of stem cells in my knee, just straight boom, and then they put intravenous right in the main vein. They put like 7K stem cells in. So I walk out of there feeling pretty good. Like it was crazy. I caught this like huge sweat right after, like kind of like almost similar. Like I'm not like a big guy where I'm like nervous on needles and get weird or anything. So it was just like in and out, right? But it kind of mimicked that like clammy, nervous feeling after. So,
nice.
Like it was like my body temperature went up and my body was like, what is this? It was crazy, right? So then the next day, my knee felt like stiff and tight because it just had more volume in there. So
yeah. I got a shot. I got a stem cell shot in my knee, like right in the fucking like in like right there,
all the way into that.
Yeah.
They're just like finding that moment. They like.
It was so weird.
It was crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I had torn my meniscus, but I don't want to turn this to mine. I want you to finish your story, I also I sought that out, and I had torn my meniscus, and since then, since the stem cells, which it was like a year after the injury, knock on wood, it's all been fine. I'm not playing basketball like I used to, like you were saying, you got to cut a little bit differently.
Finesse. Yeah. You might not sell out on a cut because you're like, what's it worth? So
dude. Well, when I tore it, I had got like the rebound from the opponent's side, and I'm taking it all the way down court, and like right around the free throw line, this dude's like right with me, and so I went to like cut to go to the other side, and right when I cut is like my knee just went that way and my body went this way, and it was like it was horrible because I was going to join this league. I was going to get back into basketball, and
timing.
Maybe everything happens for a reason, but
But at that moment, you're like, "What the hell?"
That sucked, and you know what that it's like. That hurt. It hurts too.
Yeah. It hurts your knee. It hurts your heart. It hurts your head.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of levels to it, especially when you're like a meniscus. Even though it's like a lesser injury in terms of like. Because like you can recover from it, it still gives you all of that. Like, damn, my knee's worthless right now. It's locked up. I don't have full range of motion. It's dainty. I can't move like I move. And then it's like a head thing too, bro. I think like a lot of people, until you go through a major injury or especially anything that's dealing with your knees, like that's like a different category of like slight depression that a lot of people don't really like fully understand, right?
Yeah.
But when you come out of it too, it's a beautiful thing because then you overcame tolerance to like stress and
at least I can run again. I love to be able to work out, and if I can't work out, it's like that's the whole thing.
For me, and I think you can attest to this, is like with the stem cell, even though it helped heal, obviously, it kind of gave you this like it like washed it away in your head and your knee. You're like you finally feel like you're at this baseline where you don't have to like look out for it all the time, and you still have that mental state of like, okay, I'm not gonna try to like go balls to the wall and like pedal to the metal right now because why would I risk that? But like now at least it's like settled, right? Because I got mine, and my knee was feeling good right away. I noticed a difference in my knee right away, and it just kind of was like a nice steady gradient for like then putting it in my main vein and it hit my whole body. I felt a couple other things kind of feel better too, right? And I just felt like a little more. I felt like my feet felt better, and I also like they told me that they're like, if you had a concussion before, and I was like, yeah, I probably had a couple. And they're like, were they documented? Like, did they tell you information about it? I was like, actually, like none of them were documented because I was in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
it's like, you like get your bell rung unless it's like very detrimental. You kind of just suck it up, and then you're just kind of on to the next play. It's just what it is. So, they told me like, well, whatever grade concussion you had, either way, you're probably gonna experience some headaches the next couple of days because it's like literally like your brain like repairing,
healing,
nice. pushing some like dead tissue that might just be statically in there out, and then rejuvenating some tissue, and it's also probably gonna do some great things for you. So then, boom, sure enough, I got home. They're like, you're gonna be very tired, and then you'll also probably be very vigorous, like coming up. And I was like, all right, noted. So I go home and I'm like crushing water. I'm like falling asleep against my will type situation. Fall out, wake up hot, sweats for a couple of days. Super headache, more dull, not like behind the eye, but just like deep in my head, right? And then a couple of days later, I started feeling like clear, and I started just feeling very like just smooth, and like my word recognition was tighter, like not like it was slipping, but I'd feel like just pop, 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 and I like a little bit more swag with my brain, bro, really. And then I felt I got to a situation where like it was also congruent with like COVID being such an apparent and lockdown being such an apparent thing in LA. I started doing a little more shrooms, so it could have been this nice synergistic thing. I started getting way more creative. I was always pretty creative and I could paint and draw and all that, but then I'd make some music. I started doing some shrooms right after that too, and then it was like I just like a switch went on. I started like just for no reason making music, drawing, painting. It was like cool little like
fuck yeah.
It's like I was able to kind of like turn on a whole nother demeanor with that. So
where are these girls out of? LA?
Who's that? Oh yeah, they're out of LA. Yeah, there's like I can put you in touch with them.
Because
so you have the contact.
I want to do the stem cells again. It's been a few years. I got the IV version, but it was and the knee, but the IV was just like $1 million. And if you know that they're usually giving you like hundreds of millions of stem cells, and you get that full dose.
Yeah, maybe you get a full dose, like just for your whole body in the main vein too. Because like when you have an acute injury, wherever it is, it's so nice to get that. It's gonna help. Like I really want to get some of my left ankle right now, to be honest, just because my ankle's been thrashed a couple times. I kind of hurt it a little bit recently in that fight too. I want to just like, it's like a nice reset. You might not get back to that full 100% original, but you're back to your like new 100%, whatever that is, right? And then you can build from there.
Who are you fighting with? What organization are you fighting in?
I was fighting with Sparta. It's out of Colorado. It's cool.
Yeah, I've heard of them. Of course.
That's cool. It's cool, bro. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and like down talk anyone, but I've definitely been a part of like more prestigious situations. But like, it is what it is. Like, if you want to get out the mud, you gotta just kind of like shoot your shot. And it was like a nice.
Have you heard of Colorado Combat Club?
I have heard of them. I haven't like really dealt with anything too tight to them. I know like my homie Jacoby, I think, messed with them a little bit. Yeah. Okay.
Does he fight? He works with the Cowboy or no? Is that Jacoby? I think it might be a different one.
No, it's a different Jacoby, but he went to CSU Pueblo too. He was younger than me. He's a cool guy. He's a local Denver guy. He fights. He's sick. He's been doing like a lot of like jiu-jitsu tournaments too lately, where he's just been dogging people. Like he almost got into this like bare knuckle situation because when he hits people, even with like the UFC gloves on, bro, he's popping fools open. It looks like he's fighting bare knuckle at the end of the fight.
Shit!
Like, he's cutting people, bro. But he's a sicko. I think he's been on some like SHEATH situations. Like I don't know if it's like
maybe that's who I'm remembering.
Knowledgeable to you or not, but yeah,
we
likes the brand.
Yeah, we work
people
with,
like the brand.
We're so blessed. It's a kind of a cool looking brand. It kind of the idea of the underwear itself, and it all kind of goes together. And with fighting, weighing in, that was our main. Fighters weigh in their underwear, so we obviously want to get them underwear to weigh in. But also, I practice. I train on and off, roll, jiu-jitsu, a little bit of boxing and stuff.
Yeah,
and then I just really enjoy. That's my favorite sport to watch.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
So it's cool to be able to sponsor people and then see them wearing your logo on their shorts or weighing in or whatever. You know, Brandon Marino's fighting.
Yeah, and once you wear it, period, bro. Once you wear the brand, like, and you feel like the underwear feel you back type vibes, and you're like in there, and like once, especially if you have like a vigorous session, whatever it is you're training, like the way they feel in comparison to other underwear, like it's just a superior product, absolutely. Like that's just that's not even like marketing. That's facts, right?
Yeah, we're very we got kind of lucky in a way. I'm just trying to ride it out and not fuck anything up along the way. Keep it alive.
Yeah, you're doing great, bro.
Yeah, it's fucking, it's like magic sometimes. I'm like, is this even real? Because it does. Yeah, like I'll take mushrooms sometimes and it'll hit me like, because you don't really take the time to look how far you've come, you know, because you're just in the middle of it. You're growing, you're grinding, you're continuing the journey. But every now and then, if like when I take mushrooms and I can sit back and kind of just reflect, I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I'll like start crying sometimes. I'll be like,
no, it's profound. Yeah, those profound moments.
Yeah.
You start feeling the tears. You might feel some tears flow. I've been there before too, bro. That's a crazy feeling. It's pretty cool. I would describe it when I first was starting to get into that. It's like, for a lot of people, you're growing up, you hear about like what you're gonna see or like what kind of like hallucination is gonna happen or something, like cartoons are gonna like.
Right.
Me, it's never been even any close to that. It's always been like, I picture it like if I went sledding one day and we're hitting the slopes or whatever that is, like some hill by your house, and you got a good like, you know, you got 12 inches of snow. It's like thick. You're on it, like it's snow where you're sledding for real. So you go down these ruts, you make these ruts, and then and then it's the day's over. You go home. Next day, there's like a little bit of snow added, so you go back, you see the same ruts, you're back on, and you're like, it's like now the next day, then it melts away, right?
Right.
So like, when you take shrooms, like that could be like your brain's mindset every day. You're in these same ruts, these same like paths. It's just like very like monotonous, like habitual pathways, right? When you like microdose or you macrodose some shrooms, I feel like it's like fresh powder. Like you forget, you don't see where those pathways are anymore. You're still gonna sled, you're still gonna go down, and then now you create a couple new pathways. And now, like these new habits come, and you kind of melt away like old habits if you need to. You don't. It's not gonna do that against your will, but like that's how I see it.
Yeah, it's so beneficial, and I try to microdose at least every couple of weeks, just because it's kind of fun. I mean, there is a fun aspect to it, but it is work. Like a lot of times, I have this dark room where I meditate, and I'll pop, you know, a gram and then just go and sit in the dark. And that's where the therapy can kind of come in and the reflection. And
you work on yourself.
Yeah. And just, you know, whatever insights. I like a good insight. I'm not in it for the cool visuals. I want to grow.
Yeah.
As a person. Yeah.
No, absolutely, bro.
But every now and then I'll go have fun.
Yeah,
just a little. But I never will take like a full dose and go have fun. But like a microdose with friends is okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone's got their own little tolerance level to like how they want to use it socially and then for yourself. So I agree with you on all that, bro. I think like it's been cool for me too, because as soon as that happened, where I was in the COVID situation, I started like using psilocybin to my benefit more often. I also had this brainstorm idea with my friend Roddy to start this like performance drink with mushrooms, like for like energy levels. And like a lot of people don't know this, like a lot of people like love creatine, or they think, okay, it's time to get big, I'm gonna add creatine to my regimen, and there's like always this creatine speculation. A lot of people don't know like these like adaptogens and a lot of these like mushrooms can cordyceps in particular.
Cordyceps, dude, I took those this morning.
Cordyceps are like nature's creatine, bro. It helps your ATP levels go up. It's doing the same thing that creatine's really doing for you without
oxygenate the blood.
Yeah, totally. And like creatine is like can kind of riddle your system if you're not staying hydrated. You got to be like supremely hydrated, because it's pulling so much water out of your other cells into the mitochondria to create more ATP, because it needs the oxygen from the water. So it's just like an oxygen machine. Your mitochondria. Mitochondria is like the powerhouse of each cell. So you have mitochondria all up in this motherfucker, but they help create ATP as well. So one of the main ingredients of ATP is oxygen. So like I said, you'll be super dehydrated and you're like an athlete, so you're sweating more, and then you're taking creatine to lift, and next thing you know, you got like something horrible happen where you're like have rhabdomyolysis in your legs and all this like serious stuff, bro. And it's sad to see. I've seen some people on my team go through that. I've seen some people online go through that. And then like you have cordyceps in here, which is like completely natural. It's gonna like do the exact same thing for you and give you more ATP, because basically like ATP, it's a long word. You can edit. It's like anthropoid. It's like a huge, crazy dinosaur name looking word, right? It's basically like is the mechanism that it's like the fuel that fires your muscle spindles, which are like microscopic, and then you have hundreds of thousands in each muscle. So when the ATP fires, the muscle fires. So you start to get tired at the end of the set. You get tired like while you're running. Your ATP levels are running low. That's why you're sucking in oxygen to create more ATP. So when you take creatine, or when you take a mushroom product and you take some cordyceps, your mitochondria is going to create more ATP like in an abundance. So then you have like a little more opportunity to go longer, which will in turn tear up your muscles a little more. So then you'll get bigger quicker. That's like the whole premise of it, really. It's not like you take the creatine and then it just grows. Like it's like you have more ability to thrash yourself longer so that you can grow more. So it's like a expedite way to get bigger, I guess. But
how is the drink coming along?
It's doing pretty good, bro. It's called Root Strength. We launched it October 2nd, and it's been doing good. We launched it out in Colombia, actually, which is like kind of random, but we got it into some. We got it into 30 Smart Fits out there in Colombia, and then we have it coming into a situation where it's going to be going into a vitamin shop January 22nd. So we got to kind of just hold out until then. It's pretty good, bro. I'm gonna send you some for sure. It's like the packaging's pretty cool.
I want some for sure.
So it's basically like we're marketing as like a pre-workout, but it's more a little more like you're amazing. It's a little more like hot chocolate, bro. This is like not really like a cracked out pre-workout vibe. Like, you know, I've been in fitness for a long time, so I've tried everything from like some of these crazy like
super high caffeinated.
Yeah, super caffeinated, but also super stimulated. You're like, what are these stims? Like, I don't even know what these are. But like I feel good and I'm like working out crazy for 2 hours. And then I've gotten to a point where I didn't want to do any pre-workout for a while. And then I started doing more like subtle, like amino acid type pre-workouts. And then I was just strictly coffee for a while, which I liked the most.
Yeah.
I started noticing like I was kind of in denial about it for a while maybe, but I started noticing that like my coffee, as much as it was like a superpower for me, I knew it was kind of riddling my nervous system a little bit. Like there was times where I felt it. I'm like, I need this like up, but I also like feel this like, oh my God,
anxiety or something.
Anxiety mixed with like a little bit of like just depreciation in my like vessel. You know what I mean? Like it's like I like probably wasn't sleeping enough on top of it. So now I'm like taking 2 steps forward, 4 steps back every day in terms of like my internal like situation, right?
Yeah.
And then, so this is pretty cool because it's got lion's mane, cordyceps. It's got some branched chain amino acids in it. I suggest to take it warm. Like in the morning, I'll like microwave, or if I have a water boiler too, but I'll like microwave like a mug of water for like a minute. And then I mix 2 scoops of this in it. I got like one of those little whiskers. I'll hit that guy.
Yep.
And this dead ass tastes like hot chocolate, bro. It's pretty incredible. So
I'll buy some. If you'll send it to me, I'll take it. But I would, and I'll
buy some. I appreciate the support, but I'll follow up with you on that.
No, just what's the website then?
So it's just rootstrength.com. So rootstrength.com. And so like basically we got we have like this is the same formula minus the caffeine. It's Go Shroomy. So basically I'm gonna come with a follow-up email and I'll get you all that and I'll get your address and I could like send you a couple little bundles out and get you some samples.
Well, we have sponsors for this podcast, oddly, from time to time, but I would just want to like, we're sponsored by Root Strength, you know, and you don't pay me anything and we'll promote it because
I would love to do that. We'll do that for sure.
Because I buy Alpha Brain, I buy like not Alpha Brain, but On It, Shroom Tech Sport. You know, that's where it. But they're cool. But I would much rather probably.
No, I hear exactly what you're saying, bro. I'm the same with you. So like, if there's anything I can help you out, I know we've been, as far as like marketing for this, we've been doing some pop-ups in Miami. We're gonna do a pop-up in Atlanta shortly. We did like 2 pop-ups in San Diego. and then we're gonna do some in Denver too. So like that can be something. Any of those can be something where if we have a booth set up, like you're more than welcome to be part of that. However you want, bro.
Just come support mostly. That's and I'm not too far away now, you know, especially when you're in Denver.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I'm actually going to pick up Steven and my brother from the airport here. We're going to go do a fashion show in Fort Collins tomorrow night. It's a Flourish fashion. Well, so if anybody's seeing this, this will have already happened. But
right.
we're coming up on the hour, and I want to end on this positive note. We're talking about this brand new product you released, and I
appreciate it, bro.
I'm excited because that literally I live up high in the mountains, and cordyceps mushrooms help you process oxygen, and I need that shit up here. So I will be like a regular daily user.
No, yeah, you will. And honestly, you'll love it. Like, this is a product where it's like, like I want to push it and I want it to be successful, but this is like a part of my daily. I'll take it. Like, this is one of those things where you can take it to like once or twice a day, even maybe 3 times if you need it. It's not like going to be giving you this enormous copious amount of caffeine and like have you feeling crazy. Like, you could have a couple throughout the day. And I'm excited for you to have it too, bro. Something I really like.
Sure. Awesome. When I want to get that. I want to get the twins info and maybe get some stem cells, and then we'll have to reconvene here at some point, 6 months or a year, and catch up again.
Yeah, let's do it. Absolutely. Let's book it. I got you.
Okay.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you. You're killing it. Yetihood, Saint Yeti on the gram. Check him out. Follow him. He's doing big things clearly.
I appreciate you, bro.
We'll continue to do so.
Yeah, I'm proud of the brand. I appreciate you guys' love and support with me. I appreciate you situating my junk proper with the product. It's a great product. If you haven't tried it yet, definitely cop you a pair.
Cop it. All right.
Cop it. All right, bro.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, hit me up, bro. I got you on all that.
Okay.